Hello everyone. So in today's class, we'll be moving on to next type of semiconductor device, which is basically known as JFET, which is basically known as FET. Okay, FET, full form of FET is field effect transistors. Okay, so field effect transistor is basically a type of semiconductor device whose output current is controlled by an electric field. Okay, so unlike a bipolar junction transistor or a BJT, in which your output current was basically controlled by base current. Okay, in this case your output current is controlled by an electric field, and this electric field is generated by the application of a voltage. Okay, so that means we can say that your BJT was a current control device. On the other hand, field effect transistors are basically your voltage control device. Okay, so this is one of the major difference between a BJT and a FET. Okay, BJT was a current control device. In case of a BJT, the output current was basically function of another current. Okay, but here your output current is basically controlled by an electric field, and this electric field is created by applying a voltage. So that means field effect transistors are your voltage control device. Also, in case of BJT, both the carriers were basically contributing towards the flow of the current. But in case of your field effect transistor, only one carrier, which will be basically your majority carrier, that majority carrier will predominantly dominate in the flow of the current. Okay, so only one type of carrier will basically contribute towards the flow of the current. That means your field effect transistors are your unipolar devices. Okay, only one carrier, which is basically your majority carrier, contribute towards the flow of the current. On the other hand, in case of a BJT, both the carriers, majority carrier as well as minority carriers, contribute towards the flow of the current. So for that reason, those are basically your bipolar devices. Okay, so these are the two major difference between a field effect transistor and a BJT. Although there are various forms of field effect transistors in the market, but in this particular class we will be mainly concentrating on two types of field effect transistor. First one is your junction field effect transistor, or your simply JFET. Okay, J stands for junction and FET stands for field effect transistor. Another type of field effect transistor is your MOSFET. Okay, MOSFET, very important one. Okay, MOSFET, or full form is metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. In this particular class, we will be mainly concentrating on junction field effect transistor. Okay, in the next class, we will be discussing about this MOSFET. Okay, so mainly we will be dealing with the principle of operation of this field effect transistor and its characteristic. Okay, so starting with this junction field effect transistor. Okay, so JFET or junction field effect transistor is basically a type of transistor which consists of three terminals. Just like your BJT, it also consists of three terminals. Okay, but the three terminals of BJT were your emitter, collector and your base. On the other hand, the three terminals of the JFET are called your source, drain and gate. These are the three terminals of a junction field effect transistor. Okay, it is also a three terminal device just like your BJT. Okay, but the three terminals are your source, drain and gate. In case of your BJT, the three terminals were called your emitter, collector and your base. Here the three terminals are called your source, drain and gate. So how does a JFET look like? A JFET basically consists of a semiconductor bar. Okay, it basically consists of a heavily doped semiconductor bar. It can be of N type or P type. Okay, whatever type it can be of N type or a P type. If this semiconductor bar is of N type, okay, if this semiconductor bar is of N type, then this particular JFET will be called N channel type JFET. On the other hand, if this bar is of P type, then this particular JFET will be called your P channel JFET. Okay, so basically there are two types of JFET. One is your N channel JFET. Okay, so in case of N channel JFET, your semiconductor bar is of N type, and another is your P channel JFET. In case of P channel JFET, the semiconductor bar is of P type. Okay, so there can be two types of JFET. One is your N channel JFET and another is your P channel JFET. So in case of N channel JFET, this bar will be of N type. Okay, on the other hand, in case of your P channel JFET, your bar will be of P type. So it's quite obvious, since this bar is of N type, in case of N channel JFET, your electrons are the majority carrier. So for that reason, your electrons will contribute towards the flow of the current. On the other hand, in case of your P channel JFET, this bar is of P type. That means holes are your majority carrier. So in case of your P channel JFET, holes contribute towards the flow of the current. As I said earlier, that in case of your field effect transistor, only majority carrier contribute towards the flow of the current. Okay, so basically your JFET consists of a semiconductor bar, either it can be of N type or P type. Okay, the two ends of the semiconductor bar consists of some metallic contacts. Okay, it basically consists of some metallic contacts. Okay, so that through this terminal, so that it can be connected to some external voltage source through some wires. Okay, so the two ends of the semiconductor bar consist of two metallic contacts. Okay, so one terminal will be called your source, another terminal will be called your drain. Which terminal will be called your source? The terminal through which your majority carrier will enter the semiconductor bar. Okay, the terminal through which majority carriers will enter the semiconductor bar will be called your source terminal. On the other hand, the terminal which will receive the majority carrier, okay, the terminal which will receive the majority carrier from the semiconductor bar will be called your drain terminal. So these are the two terminals. What about the third terminal? The two sides of the semiconductor bar, okay, two sides of the semiconductor bar consists of some impure semiconductors having impurities opposite to that of the semiconductor bar. Okay, the two sides of the semiconductor bar, okay, the two sides of the semiconductor bar will consist of two semiconductor layer having impurities opposite to that of the channel, opposite to that of the semiconductor bar. That means, say suppose if we consider N channel JFET, okay, say suppose we are considering N channel JFET, okay, that means this semiconductor bar is of N type. So in that case, this semiconductor material will be of P type. Okay, the two sides will consist of two semiconductor material of impurities opposite to that of the semiconductor bar. Okay, so the terminal through this one will be called your gate. Okay, they will be connected to each other. These two terminals will be connected to each other like this. Okay, these two terminals are same. So this third terminal will be called your gate. Okay, so for normal operation of this JFET, usually this gate to source terminal are reverse biased. Okay, for normal operation of this JFET, this gate to source terminal are your reverse bias. Okay, since I am considering N channel JFET right now, okay, I am considering N channel JFET right now. So this impurity is of P type. Okay, these semiconductors are of P type. So for connecting this gate to source terminal in reverse bias state, okay, what I have to do is I have to connect a voltage source in somewhat this fashion. Okay, your gate terminal will be connected to negative polarity and source will be connected to the positive polarity. So under this condition, this gate to source terminal will be reverse bias. Okay, they will be reverse bias. Okay, so this is the case for your operation of this particular JFET. Now again, for the flow of the current, for the flow of the current. Obviously, this is the source. Source will supply the magnetic carrier, which is electrons in this case. Okay, so as a result, your electrons are flowing in this direction. Since electrons are flowing in this direction, the conventional direction of the current will be opposite to that of the flow of the electrons. We have already discussed that the direction of the conventional current is opposite to that of the direction of the flow of electrons. So since electrons are flowing from source to drain, okay, it's quite obvious that current will flow from drain to source. So if I apply a voltage across this drain to source, then how will be its polarity? Its polarity will be somewhat like this. Okay, so now due to this reverse bias voltage VGS, let me represent it by VGS and this voltage by VDS. So due to this reverse bias voltage, okay, due to this reverse bias voltage, this junction, okay, this PN junction, both of these two PN junctions are basically reverse bias. As a result, what will happen? A depletion region will be created, and this depletion region will extend into the semiconductor bar. But one thing you notice, the polarity of the source terminal, okay, or rather the voltage of the source terminal is greater than that of the gate terminal. Again, voltage of the drain terminal, okay, is greater than the voltage of the source terminal. That means this side is more reverse bias as compared to this side. Okay, see, say suppose if this gate voltage is say suppose 2 volt, and say suppose this source voltage is 4 volt, and say suppose this voltage is 6 volt. So you see here the reverse bias is of 4 volt, and here the reverse bias is of 2 volt. So that means your reverse bias is more towards the drain side as compared to the source side. So as a result, the depletion region which will be created, okay, the width of the depletion region will be more towards the drain region as compared to the width of the depletion region towards the source region. So as a result, a depletion region will be created somewhat like this. Okay, so you can easily see that the width of this depletion region, is more towards the drain side. Okay, why is it happening so? Because you just see from the polarity of the voltage source connected. This gate to source terminal is reverse bias. That means the magnitude of the voltage at this gate terminal will be less than that of the source. Again, according to this voltage source, the magnitude of the voltage at the source terminal will be less than that of the drain terminal. So that means this region is more reverse bias as compared to this junction, this region. Okay, gate to source region is less reverse bias as compared to the gate to drain region. And as you increase this reverse biasness, okay, as you increase the reverse biasness, the width of this depletion region will basically go on increasing. Okay, the width of this depletion region will go on increasing. As a result, the effective width, okay, the effective width through which the electrons flow will basically go on reducing. This region is basically called the channel. Okay, the effective region, okay, the effective region of the semiconductor bar through which electrons flow is basically called a channel. So what we are saying is that as we are increasing the reverse bias voltage, this VGS, as we are increasing this reverse bias voltage, the channel width is going on reducing. As a result, the current which will flow will basically go on reducing, because it's getting, the width is basically going on reducing. So as a result, the effective path which it's getting for flow is going on reducing. So that means its resistance will basically increase. Okay, its resistance will basically increase, because we already know that the resistance R is given by rho into L by A. So if this effective area decreases, then its resistance will increase. So that means the semiconductor bar is acting like a voltage controlled resistor. Okay, it's acting like a voltage controlled resistor. As you are increasing the voltage, its resistance is also getting increased. As a result, the current which is flowing through it will go on reducing. Okay, so this is basically the principle on which your JFET works. Okay, this is the principle. As far as symbol is concerned, for N-channel type JFET and for P-channel type JFET, the symbols are somewhat like this. Okay, so this is the circuit symbol for an N-channel type JFET and this is the circuit symbol for P-channel type JFET. The arrow direction shown here in the gate terminal basically represents the direction of the flow of the current. Okay, it basically represents the direction of the flow of the current when this gate to source junction is forward biased. Okay, if we forward bias it, then basically this is P type. So as a result, volts will flow from this P type to this N type region. That means from this region to this region. Okay, that means current will be the current will be flowing inwards. So for that reason, the direction of the arrow is inwards. On the other hand, for your P channel type JFET, your current will be flowing outward, because in that case, these two gate region will be basically of N type. Okay, so as a result, your electrons will be flowing in this direction inward. So as a result, your whole current will be flowing opposite, because your conventional current flows in the opposite direction as that of the electrons. So these are the symbol of your N channel and P channel type JFET. Now, static characteristic of a JFET. So static characteristic of a JFET, it's basically the plot of drain current versus drain to source voltage with gate to source voltage as the parameter. Okay, that means for various values of VGS, the plot of ID versus VDS gives us the static characteristic of the JFET. Say suppose if we draw the characteristic for a N-channel type JFET, then it will basically look like somewhat like this. The characteristic looks like somewhat like this is ID and this is VDS. Okay, it basically looks like somewhat like this. Say suppose this is the curve for VGS to be equal to 0 volt. This one is say suppose for VGS is equal to minus 1 volt. This is for say suppose VGS is equal to minus 2 volt, and this one is say suppose for VGS is equal to minus 3 volt. Okay, so this is basically the plot of the variation of the drain current with respect to drain source voltage for various values of gate to source voltage. Okay, so this particular graph, as you can see from here, it basically consists of three regions. Okay, one is this region. Okay, one is this region, which is basically your linear region. Okay, this is the saturation region. This is the saturation region, and this is the breakdown region. Okay, so from the graph it is visible that it basically consists of three regions: linear region, saturation region, and breakdown region. Okay, so why we are getting this sort of graph? Okay, let us discuss this first. Okay, so before that, let us draw a JFET. Okay, let us draw a JFET first of all. Okay, so say suppose we are considering a N-channel type JFET. Okay, so first of all, let us consider the region when your VGS is 0. Okay, first of all, let us consider the case when your VGS is 0. Okay, when your VGS is 0, okay, that means basically your voltage of the gate terminal is 0. Okay, so say suppose this voltage is 0. Now what will happen? As I am increasing this drain to source voltage, okay, as I am going on increasing this drain to source voltage, what is happening? This PN junction is getting reverse bias, and this reverse bias is more towards the drain region, drain terminal, as compared to that in the towards the source terminal. Okay, because if you are increasing this VDS, this drain terminal voltage of the drain terminal is going on increasing. Okay, this gate voltage is 0. Okay, this gate voltage and the source voltage voltage of the source terminal is 0. Okay, for that reason your VGS is becoming equal to 0. So say suppose this voltage of this gate terminal and voltage of the source terminal both are 0. Now as I am increasing this VDS, what will happen? The voltage of this drain terminal, the voltage at this drain terminal will go on increasing. As a result, this region will become reverse bias. So as a result, a depletion region will be created. Okay, as a result, a depletion region will be created. Okay, so as a result, what will happen? Basically, current will flow through it. It will behave as a resistance. Okay, it will behave as a resistance, and current will flow through it. Okay, as I am increasing the voltage. Okay, as I am increasing the voltage, the resistance. Okay, as I am increasing the voltage, what will happen? This reverse biasness is going on increasing. Okay, this reverse bias is going on increasing. Okay, that means the resistance of this particular bar is going on increasing. Okay, so as a result, your current rises very sharply. Okay, well, not sharply, the current rises by very small amount with increase in your voltage. Okay, so what is happening? Your current is rising linearly with the voltage in this region. Okay, but what happens as you go on increase the voltage? Okay, as you go on increase the voltage, a stage will be reached. A stage will be reached when this voltage, when these two depletion region will just touch each other. Okay, when these two voltage will just touch, these two depletion region will just touch each other. This voltage will be basically called your pinch off voltage, and this particular phenomenon is called your pinch off. Okay, so what is happening in this case? In this case, your depletion region, okay, your depletion region basically comes in contact with each other. Okay, they almost touch each other. Okay, so at that time your saturation level is being reached. Okay, your current cannot rise further. Okay, because the width has been reduced to its minimum possible value. Okay, so in this case we say that the current has reached a saturation level. So this current is basically called your saturation current, and the corresponding voltage will be called your Vsat. Okay, now if you further go on increasing the voltage, what will happen? The current will remain constant. Okay, current will remain constant. Thus, just this point of contact will shift towards left. Okay, actually they will not touch each other completely. They will leave a small gap for the flow of the electrons. Okay, so at that time the current becomes independent of the voltage applied. Okay, at that time your current becomes independent of the voltage applied. Before this Vsat, okay, there was region, there was a channel width through which your electrons can flow easily. Okay, so as a result your current was also increasing with the increase in your voltage. Okay, but what is happening when as soon as your Vsat is reached, this basically they almost come in contact with each other, and if you increase the voltage further, this point will just shift towards left. So as a result, current basically remains constant. It becomes independent of the applied voltage. Okay, now if you go on further increasing the voltage, a stage will be reached when the breakdown of this PN junction will occur. So then we will be getting this breakdown region. So for that reason we are getting this sort of graph. Now as you increase this reverse biases of this gate terminal, okay, as you increase the reverse biases of this gate terminal, what will happen? Just this current will basically reduce, because your even if you are increasing a voltage, okay, if you are increasing a VDS, okay, this reverse biases will be more as it was in the case of 0 volt. Okay, so that means your saturation will occur at a voltage even before what we got in the previous case. So as you increase the reverse biasness, your saturation voltage, that means Vsat, will go on reducing. That means you will be getting a curve somewhat like this here. For Vgs is equal to minus 1 volt, we are getting saturation voltage to be this one. For Vgs is equal to minus 2 volt, you are getting saturation voltage to be this one. Okay, so as you go on increasing the this particular reverse biasness, your pinch off will occur at a voltage lower than the previous case. So just the graph will shift towards left like this as you increase the reverse biasness. So this is basically the static characteristic of the JFET. Okay, so this is all for your JFET. In the next class, we will be starting with the second type of field effect transistor, which is basically your MOSFET. Thank you everyone.